Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update. Thursday, June 22nd, 9 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. An M4.9 solar flare and coronal mass ejection may be headed our way. We have to wait for some telemetry. Plus, yes, OceanGate sub imploded right near the Titanic as expected. Keep calm. It's boom time. Deadly Texas twister. At least 4 killed by storm in Matador, Texas. Let's take a look at some of the footage here. And absolutely devastating. 4 dead. Multiple structures destroyed here in Texas overnight. And as the sun came up, the devastation was revealed. So there's them working on it overnight into the morning. And there is some of the devastation. Our hearts and prayers go out to those that lost loved ones. And this is just the beginning of the severe weather season, unfortunately. Multiple tornadoes were reported in eastern Colorado amid a severe weather outbreak. Denver, Aurora, and Lakewood were under severe thunderstorm warnings until 9:15 p.m. last night. Huge hailstones slam into Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle. And this is Reed Timmer out there getting the footage. Take a look at that. Better have your helmet on. And then, well, you all know about it. Red Rocks hailstorm. I'm sure you've heard. Nearly 100 concert goers were hurt. Dozens injured as apple-sized hailstones hit Colorado concert goers. There were even broken bones and twisted ankles from people running. Watch as multiple concert goers during the Louis Tomlinson concert report says that multiple people were seriously injured. And you'll know why. They're literally getting pummeled. And we're buffering. And we have more footage here. Thankfully, that's not buffering. And you can, there, well, it's still buffering. You can see, by the way, these kids are screaming that there is something definitely going on here. Take a look. Wow. I'm sure there were some drama queens, but they were trapped, to say the least. Now, Brett barrels towards the Caribbean. Thank God it is weakening slightly. Some good news. Here is Brett's most recent update, 14A. Maximum sustained winds at 65 miles per hour. It's passing the leewards now. Tropical Depression 4 is going to hook up here north of the Caribbean Ocean, while Brett is headed directly towards Nicaragua. Here are the latest spaghetti models in the last 3 hours coming out. Everything is aligning. One path takes it up here towards the Yucatan. Probably not going to happen because all of them now are centering on Nicaragua and Honduras. So heads up. Tropical Depression 4 will become a tropical storm in my opinion. It's going to move up and probably not threaten the east coast of the U.S. unless something changes in a few days. Anything is possible. So stay tuned for updates. Heat, thunderstorms, and heavy rain. The never-ending and dangerous heat wave in Texas will persist through the weekend and into next week. That's why we call it the Nexus of the Schmexus. Severe thunderstorms are likely across much of the high plains the next day or two before moving into the Midwest over the weekend. Heavy rainfall may cause flooding in the northern plains and upper Midwest over the next couple of days. Click on your county for more info. Quick look at the smoke map showing quite a number of fires exploding in Quebec. 42 that we can see, and the smoke is precipitous, and they could all join together here in one nightmare situation. We need to get some precipitation into this region, and that's for sure. Let's run the smoke map through the next 3 days to see what's happening. New Brunswick is going to be pummeled in the heavy smoke and the haze as these fires continue to spread. Good news, Western Canada, almost all the fires are out. Central Canada is doing pretty good as well. We're talking Alberta, BC. And take a look at these fires in Quebec. So let's take a look at the precipitation map and see if we have any blessings in the future. Wow, there's good news for Quebec and Ontario. There's huge amounts of moisture, 3 to 5 inches coming by the end of the month and into early July. Those fires will be out by the 4th of July. So that's good news for anyone that's preparing maybe some picnics or camping for that region. More moisture coming to BC and Alberta as well. So most of the fires will be out by the fire season, which is good news. Plus, this precipitation is going to help reduce that fuel by keeping it moist in Canada. Take a look at that. East Coast is the big winter chicken dinner through July 8th. And the Four Corners region and the West, the Southwest, dry as a bone. So I expect some wildfires to be kicking up there, as well as Eastern Oregon and Western Washington. That could be some fire danger in the coming weeks. There is no precipitation. That is a precipitation hole, for goodness sakes. Good news is that the monsoon begins in July, and this, at least the Southwest, should be getting pummeled by storm after storm in the afternoon. That's all thanks to El Nino. Back after 7 years, El Nino could bring extreme weather across the globe. Notably intense El Nino developed in the Pacific Ocean 7 years ago, changing global weather patterns. Or was it the grand solar minimum and magnetic excursion? The mainstream media doesn't know those talking points, so they will not talk about them. But we will. Join us. Seismic update, no quakes of note. Good news. The Earth is quiet. Worldwide volcano news update. Normal volcanic activity coming from Nevado de Ruiz to 20,000 feet, Tucono, Sabancaya to 21,000, Tucono to 8,000. And we also have Fuego, Popo, Reventador, and Mayon. Mayon puffing to about 9,000 feet with continuous lava flows. Popo to 22,000 and Cotopaxi to 22 as well. Now on to space weather. We just had an M 4.9 solar flare. It was just detected around AR 3341 a few hours ago, peaking at 2344 UTC. SOHO hasn't updated on it, and we're waiting for more telemetry to see if this CME is going to affect Earth. We'll know more in the morning, and if we do have a potential geomagnetic storm coming, we will update you on the facts. There's the M 4.9 solar flare. Quite significant. Here's the R1 minor radio blackout, approaching R2, by the way, very close on the cusp. Now, moving on to tragic news. The missing Titanic sub. Navy secretly detected the implosion days ago, but didn't tell anyone, as the victims' families break their silence. Yeah, and it's quite unfortunate. Secret U.S. Navy underwater microphones detected the Titan sub's implosion several days ago, just an hour and 49 minutes after the sub left. There was also a seismic signature that was picked up that we posted on our Twitter. There was actually a small seismic event due to the implosion in the region. And we're going to witness that right now, right there. Now, a few days before they left, they did a test dive and they found a leak in a valve and nothing was done about it. So this company is going to be sued beyond, well, this company is done. The Titanic submersible catastrophic implosion killed all 5 aboard, including many billionaires, just an hour and 49 minutes after it left. Now, the implosion would be so severe, it's the equivalent of 100 Empire State Buildings crushing you in an instant. You would be liquefied. So none of these people felt anything except the instant it occurred. They knew something was afoot in that millisecond, and then it was over. Total darkness the whole time. Yeah, searchers believe there was a catastrophic implosion based on submersible debris found at the rescue site. They actually located the tail portion of the craft, which allowed them to ID it. In the coming days, we're going to get lots of actual video and photo footage of that debris to confirm 100% for the public. As predicted, we predicted 24 hours ago that this was going to be the case due to a long history of shoddy construction. And while this baby was only rated to go to 4,000 feet, they were diving to 13,100 feet with it. Absolute stupidity. And they win the Darwin Award. Scientists uncover a new phase of matter, the chiral Bose liquid state. This sounds like science fiction. It's an exotic new state of matter discovered by squishing subatomic particles into an ultra-dense crystal. Now, by shining a strong beam of light through two chemical compounds, scientists discovered a unique new state of matter made of particles called excitons. Are you excited? Well, we are. Physicists have discovered a new exotic new state of matter that takes the form of a highly ordered crystal of subatomic particles. The new state of matter, called a bosonic correlated insulator, could lead to the discovery of many new types of exotic materials made from condensed matter. Could you imagine wearing this? Maybe out for a fancy dinner? Well, according to the researchers who detailed their results in a study published May 11th in the Journal of Science, subatomic particles can be separated into two categories, fermions and bosons. The primary difference between the two are how they spin and how they interact with each other. And by adding a little light, boom, a new exotic state of matter occurs. All the links will be below for you to peruse on your own time. I'm sure you've heard lab-grown meat is cleared for sale in the U.S. And I'm almost, yes, I vomited a little in my mouth. This is going to be chicken, and it costs so much money that only the highest rated 5-star restaurants and a few chefs are going to have access to this abomination of food. But just like all the fake meat, Beyond Meat and all that have tanked and crashed, and there's absolutely no one on earth that really wants to eat this garbage except indoctrinated vegans that are killing the planet anyway and killing their bodies by eating ultra-processed garbage. But I do digress. No one in their right mind is going to pay $25, $30 a pound for lab-grown chicken. No one. No one. And more on the ESG score nonsense and woke bullshittery. Harvard dishonesty expert accused of dishonesty. Well, who could have thunk it? Francesca Gino, on administrative leave at the Harvard Business School she was the head of dishonesty, and she was dishonest. A high-profile expert on ethics and dishonesty is facing allegations of dishonesty in her own work and has taken administrative leave from the Harvard Business School. Disgraced Francesca Gino is one of the HBS's best-known behavioral scientists and author of Rebel Talent, a 2018 book with the subtitle, Why It Pays to Break the Rules. What a shill. All these people are liars, cheaters, and frauds with backroom deals trying to get somewhere. And getting ahead means fucking over everybody in your wake. That's not really how humans exist. Humans are kind and gentle people. I don't know what the infection is that has gotten over us in the last several thousand years where we've become literally such greedy, psychopathic people. But the majority of people I hang around with in my circles are kind, compassionate, and filled with love, caring, and understanding. That's the nature of humanity, in case you didn't know that. Now, something bizarre is happening with the North Atlantic. And the sea surface temperatures, the way they quickly spike and drop, no one has had a good explanation for this ever. A lot of people say it could be like volcanoes going off underwater, but it has some kind of other periodicity, some other effect. Now, we've been looking for a mechanism. Me as a geologist for decades, over 30 years, we've been looking for what's driving this cyclic phenomenon of climate change. Every 104,000 years during the Ice Age, in the last about million years, we have a cycle where the temperature drastically rises 20 plus degrees C, and then over a period of 104,000 years drops back down into very, very cold conditions and a glacial maximum. There's very few people that can explain, in fact, no one, why this occurs. Never a good explanation. I work with the Milankovitch cyclicity, but that can't cause such a rapid rise. And then people invented the term tipping point, which means nothing because no one can point to what that tipping point means and what it does. It's just a fairy tale, kind of like Nibiru or Flat Earth or any other number of nonsense things like, well, I won't even get into it. But the North Atlantic is spiking in temperature that has no probable cause. There's no way this can be happening based on what we currently know. Or is there? There is an alternative to what's driving this cyclic climate catastrophe on Earth. It's not you, and it's not CO2. It might be what's happening in the core that we don't know about. And Leah and I are going to dissect this hypothesis Saturday on Cosmic Catastrophe, our radio show at revolution.radio, 12 noon Mountain Time, every Saturday, and replayed in the evening at 8 p.m. on Magnetic Reversal News. And in fact, recent climate change and all of the climate catastrophe cycles may originate from structural and exothermic phase changes in the core of the Earth. Now, they believe it's nickel iron core. I don't believe that. But if we combine a few ideas, maybe a plasmoid in the center of the Earth that's being fueled by the sun through Birkeland currents, well, and what we know about these super low velocity zones and these mantle type plumes that are emanating from the outer core that are connecting all the way to places like Yellowstone and Hawaii and the East African Rift Zone, maybe we can come up with some new ideas to explain what's actually happening on Earth. And that would be a geologic boom to knowledge. Indeed, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this with like-minded people as we are shadow banned and we need your help to grow. Hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. We love you. Be safe. And that is a boom.